Hey everyone. So I posted a photo of my skirt pattern for the Delphine skirt and asked if anyone was interested in a tutorial for a full tummy adjustment, and had several people say that they were. So I thought I would demonstrate how to do this. So similarly to an FBA, a full tummy adjustment addresses any width front to back. So just like an FBA will address width in the bust forward, from the side of the body forward, the full tummy adjustment does the same thing, but with extra room in the tummy. So it's essentially a what I like to call a front to back adjustment. And what I have found is that sometimes you may need to adjust the back of your skirt. So I did this on the Leonora skirt by Seamwork and ended up taking some of the room in the back in because there was just too much room in the hips after I did this adjustment. So I have a little straight skirt pattern, and you really only need this with these fitted skirts. So like the Sew Over It Ultimate Pencil skirt, the Leonora skirt, for example, any pencil skirt really. So the first thing we're gonna do is you can just sort of approximate where you need the extra room. So for me, the fullness in my tummy is about 4 inches from my natural waist. So you want to measure down from the waistline, incorporate a waistband if there's a waistband as well. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm just gonna draw my line, my full tummy line here. And then I'm going to draw a perpendicular line going through my dart. If your skirt pattern doesn't have a dart, it's okay. You're gonna end up creating a dart. So you can either use an existing dart for this line. Let me make sure I'm in the frame here. There we go. Or you're just gonna draw one and a dart will be created. But if your pattern has a dart, go ahead and make that line through the dart. And hopefully your dart is more even than the one I've approximated. And then we're gonna draw a line from where these two lines intersect all the way to the side of our tip here. So we have a line straight across, hopefully where you need the actual width on your body, where your belly is most full. You have a perpendicular line through your dart, and then we have a diagonal line from this intersection point all the way to the side seam point. So this is where things get kind of fun. I'm gonna rotate this around so I can cut it a little easier. So I'm gonna cut from the center front all the way to the intersection point, and then I'm gonna pivot and cut here all the way to the side seam point. And I'm gonna stop pretty close to that line there. Not a full 5/8 because we need this to move. And then I'm gonna cut the line that's through my dart. And I'm gonna give it about, 1/8 of an inch, 1/16 of an inch, very little room there. And then I'm gonna flip this around. So here's where things get kind of fun. So what this essentially does, let me get my tape here. I'm gonna go ahead and anchor the largest part of the pattern that I have. And I'm gonna do that a couple different places. And I'll go ahead and anchor it everywhere else just so it's flat and you can see it. So you can either be really precise about this, or you can just sort of guesstimate. So depending on the pattern, I will add anywhere from 1/2 an inch to 5/8 of an inch, depending. And the more you do these, the more you'll be able to approximate how much you need. So for demonstration's sake, just so you can see the dart as well, I'm gonna do 3/4 of an inch. So I'm just gonna measure that. And then I'm gonna spread this until it lines up with that line. This is actually resin paper, which is used for painting projects, and I actually bought it for painting projects, but it makes fabulous pattern paper. And you can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's, I think for about maybe $25 for a really big roll of it. So as you can see, I have widened my dart. So just like if you're doing an FBA, you're gonna redraw this dart. And I just stuck this in the middle, and you can also lengthen this dart if you really want to. It just depends. I'd probably recommend muslining this. I did go ahead and make some versions and, you know, just play with it. It's kind of like you're never really done with sewing. And then I'm gonna measure, it's not always the same, but we're gonna measure 3/4 of an inch out from our original front. So this is our new skirt pattern. So what we've done is we've created some width along the center front and some length right where you need it to get around that full belly. You've created a larger dart, and you can just true up these dart legs if you want. You've created a larger dart that accommodates the room. Now the other thing that you've probably noticed is that you've also widened the overall width of the pattern on the hip. So you may find that you prefer to shave some of this off. So you could come in here and, you know, just measure and then kind of true this up if you wanted. Again, you can be much more exact if you'd like, but I tend not to be. So you can definitely take that out. I've also taken out room from the center back of my skirt, just because in choosing the size, I almost felt like I picked a size that was too big in addition to doing this. So I haven't done too much research on it, but it might actually behoove you to size down in the skirt, make your waist adjustments, but keep the hip kind of with right where it would be, maybe an inch or two of ease, and then add this because if you start with a pattern with a lot of hip ease, you're gonna add, well, in this case it's 1.25 inches. So just keep that in mind, and then you can always tissue fit this, or you can do a muslin, which is probably best, because then you can move this dart around, and then you can figure out if you need to take any off of your side seams, or if you need to take any from the center back. So for me, I don't really have a huge backside. I tend to carry my junk in the front rather than in the back. So I have reduced the back pattern pieces on some skirts before. So I hope this was helpful, and I appreciate everyone who expressed interest in a tutorial. And if you have any questions, let me know. I found illustrations of this on Pinterest and then sort of intuited it from there. So if you have questions, definitely let me know.